600 runners and walkers gathered in Middleton today for the 16th annual Gilda's Club Run and Walk to raise money for cancer support programs at Gilda's Club Madison. Nearly $80,000 was raised today by sponsor teams and participants of the 5K run and 2-mile walk. Events like these make sure programming at Gilda's Club Madison continues to be completely free for everyone affected by cancer.
From the moment when someone first hears that they have cancer through the conclusion of treatment, whatever that might mean, all of the programs at Gilda's Club are completely no cost for anyone who wants to participate. That includes the person with cancer, their spouse, their loved ones, their children, and we couldn't do that without events like today's Run Walk.
It sounds like it was a fun event as well. Gilda's Club Madison is celebrating 15 years of providing free emotional support, cancer education, and art classes to children and adults living with any kind of cancer, also for those who care for them. Still ahead at 5.